Okay, so as promised, I'm gonna do Michael Jackson's chart. I'm gonna just glimpse over like the most important aspects. So in Vedic astrology, he would be an Aquarius ascendant. His moon is sitting in his first house. So this is interesting right here. Original sign of the 11th house is Aquarius in its original format, but it's sitting in his first house. So Aquarius brings the 11th house into it, which is going to be like the energy of mass global influence. Saturn and Rahu rule that sign. So this is material, worldly sort of gains, right? But because his moon is sitting there, that also gives him that magnetic subconscious appeal, right? It just sort of draws you in because the moon is sitting there, and the moon is also sitting in Satabhishta nakshatra. And that nakshatra alone is ruled by Rahu in Aquarius. So we've got quadruple Aquarius here. With Aquarius is eccentric, it's global reach, it's unorthodox, right? And then the moon is subconscious, magnetic, can pull global audiences in psychically, subconsciously, if you combine that in the first house with Rahu. Right, so let's move on. Third house, he's got Ketu and Mars, right? In the sign of Aries. So this is a person who's aggressively, really communicating with his voice, words, and performing, because the third house is also performance and communication. And he's got Mars there in the sign of Aries, which is it's Multicon, right? That's where Mars is comfortable, in the sign of Aries. That's very aggressive, right? Just, but he's got Ketu, South Node, sitting with it. So even though it's active and aggressive, it is not like coming off as aggressive. It's like, okay, I detach. I am this thing, but I'm detached from the outcome. So the aggression does not appear outward, right? It's more of the energy of just being who he is. So now we've got Venus in the 6th house in the sign of Cancer. This is the house of enemies and health challenges. This is the karmic house. So Venus being here, I can and then in the sign of Cancer, that would be aesthetics, right? Your ups and downs about your looks, the way you appear. He had that oxygen tank thing that he would sleep in, and then he had that mishap with the hair, right? So Venus sitting there is kind of really showing you that there could have been some ups and downs with looks, and he might have struggled also. That's the enemy planet, right? That's the enemy house. Like maybe I was my own enemy with the way I look and that whole thing, right? Like plastic surgery, all of that is shown right there in the 6th house, because it's a house of health too, right? Surgeries and all that. And Venus is beautifying yourself, making yourself look a certain way. This is my interpretation. Don't all hate me if I'm wrong. So the 7th house, he's got Mercury retrograde and the sun. Here's another interesting conjunction, right? So in the sign of Leo, in the house of relationships. So Mercury retrograde is him internalizing a lot of his thought. But with the sun there, he's probably thinking about how he shines, because the sun is also in Magha Nakshatra. Magha Nakshatra is the royal chamber. It is the king. So this is very king of pop energy in the relationship sector. Now, relationships and partnerships could be agreements as a whole. It's not necessarily just relationship. Contracts, right? The 7th house is contracts, so it could be contracts with recording artists or just in general, and also in relationships. It does apply to relationships. And then the 9th house is very interesting. There's a Jupiter Rahu conjunct in the 9th house. The 9th house is foreign places. The 9th house is your father. The 9th house is your guru. It's your spiritual self. So if he has Jupiter and Rahu there, that is a magnification, massive appeal of that worldly persona, which is Rahu. And then it's in the sign of Libra, which again is beauty. So he is massively impacting even people on a spiritual level through his aesthetics, through beauty, through his material wealth. The 10th house also is ruled by Scorpio, and there's Saturn sitting there. So he's very disciplined in his career. An 8 sitting in the 10th house is karmic, right? So he came here to do what he was supposed to do, right? In terms of his work. It's my interpretation of this chart. Okay guys, so I just recorded that on a whim. I didn't really, sit there and analyze it. I'm just looking at it and talking. So if anyone feels like they need to correct me, just feel free to go ahead.